They'll spend whatever time, whatever money it is to do it practical, and that's why I really love this franchise.
Today we're here with the man, Spiro
Razatos.
I should know that.
Yes.
He's the action director for F9. What a big task you had for this movie. This movie is just bonkers,
Yes,
right?
it is. Yes, it is.
So when you first sit down and they tell you, this is what we want to do, what's your first reaction?
Well, especially with the fast movies, it's always hold your breath, like, okay, what's coming? And with Justin Lin especially, as you know, nothing's a limit with him, But what makes it really challenging is we obviously do everything to do practical as much as possible.
Right.
So our goal is practical until we can't, and they'll spend whatever time, whatever money it is to do it practical. And that's why I really love this franchise, is between, Justin wanting it practical, the studio backing us up on it. You couldn't ask for a better place to do this.
Well, there's a lot of wild stunts in this one. Which one gave you the most headache?
Obviously, Tbilisi, the finale was very challenging. But I have to say, as I mentioned, is that what surprised us was in Thailand, which was a beautiful place, fun sequence, was that we had the monsoon season hit us. So normally you might have problems with the cars all being ready and rigged and tested, but all of a sudden we got hit with rain for all day nonstop, and then of course we're shooting in the hills, so then it turns into mud. So try to do 70 miles an hour on hills with mud and rain. So that became very challenging, and again, thanks to the studio and Justin, they said, you know what? Wait till it's safe. We want you to stay there until you do it right. Do it practical as much as you can, and we did. We did the whole thing practical. So.
Well, that's important, especially with speeding cars and mud. They just don't mix, right?
Yes, no, they don't.
If
you saw some of the behind the scenes on that, you'd have fun watching the guys just mud on everybody, trying to push cars and all that. But that was challenging, And then of course trying to do the Tbilisi, the truck. We did as much of it practical as we could until we couldn't. But we actually had a truck built on its roof so that it could go down the street, slide down the hill on its roof with people transferring to it. And that was very challenging.
Well, one of the parts that I liked was the whole magnets and the truck. That was kind of cool. I mean, was that all practical? Was it a bit of CGI?
That's a great question. No, all of it was practical until the big truck started to flip itself, the big truck with all the things. But all this stuff with the cars down the street and all the parked cars coming in, all that was 100% practical. It was funny because we actually started running out of cars. We crashed so many cars. I'd say, give me another car. And they go, we're out of cars. I go, okay, this side looks good. So turn this to the camera side and we'll crash it again. And so that was all practical. And going down the street with Letty in the car on the back of her car that she flipped over, all that was real.
Wow. Okay, next question then. How many cars did you destroy? Do you keep track?
I actually, after Fast 5, I'll never forget, we did Fast 5 and we had a parking lot full of cars, right? With the vault sequence and everything. And I remember it was a huge part. At the very last day, I drive by and there's a couple of cars that were all dented, were the only thing left in there, and I'm going, oh my God. And so on this one, it's like, you know what? Like I said, we ran out of cars. I just stopped worrying about it. It's like, get us as many cars as you can and we'll find a way to destroy them,
Well, where do you get the cars? I mean, obviously you don't want to take really nice cars and destroy them. So do you get cars from like the racks and then just kind of put stuff on the outer part?
It depends. Sometimes we get cars that we make a good deal on, but we have to build our cars for our heroes. Those have to be built, specially built. Dennis McCarthy does that. He's incredible. And that's a challenge because he has to build like sometimes 15 of them, and they each do different things. Some are made to do stunts, driving only. Some are made to crash and flip, some are made to jump. So it's a big deal.
Okay, so I'm assuming the actors get to do some driving. Is that right?
Yes, we let them do as much as we can, but it's very challenging, and of course they can't come to Thailand. I remember on Fast 8 I had Tyrese come and we drug him when he's behind the thing hanging on the door on the snow. So he really got to go to Iceland and we really got to drug him on the door there. So when they can, they'll do their stuff, and if not, then we help them out on stage.
Okay, so who's the best driver from the cast? You can pick favorites. You
Huh?
can pick favorites.
No, you know what? They've all done it so much that they're all
They're all
good.
pros by now.
Yeah, they're all pros. They've done it for so many years that, you know, they're becoming their characters. So,
Wow. Well, the action was just totally insane. Great job. I'm sure it was such a big task for you. I mean, especially on this one.
yes, no, it always is. But you know what? You know it's going to be, you know, a great team, and that's what matters, you know. So.
And for all these years, I mean, there's been no real big, you know, accident like
No.
this. So congratulations on that. I mean,
Knock on
playing
wood,
it
yeah,
safe, you know?
knock on wood. That's the most important thing, you know. Nobody, and that's what I love about Justin and everybody in the studio. They don't, you know, they don't care about anything as long as we keep it safe. If it costs twice as much, you know, then do it.
That's right.
So,
Human safety.
there you go.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you
All
too.
right.